The War Council chamber aboard the Zenthari flagship Dominion's Edge hummed with electromagnetic tension as Orla pressed her chitinous palm against the neural interface. Data streams flooded her consciousness. Casualty reports, fleet positions, and one impossible fact that refused to make sense. Humanity had destroyed the Third Armada in 47 minutes. "This cannot be accurate," she transmitted to the Council, her bioluminescent patterns flickering doubt across her carapace. The humans possess no quantum displacement weapons, no singularity torpedoes. Their technology lags behind ours by at least 2 developmental epochs. Commander Vexthor's mandibles clicked in what passed for grim acknowledgement among their species. "The data is verified, Scientific Officer Orla. 300 warships. Gone. The humans used..." He paused, his translator struggling with the concept. "Kinetic projectiles." "Kinetic?" Orla's confusion rippled through the neural link. "That is, primitive." "Primitive, yes. Effective. Devastatingly so." Vexthor pulled up holographic replays. "They accelerated tungsten rods to 0.97 C using gravitational slingshots around their star. By the time our sensors detected the projectiles, impact was 3 seconds away. Our shields are designed for energy weapons. These rods simply pass through." Orla watched the replay in stunned silence. The Third Armada had been obliterated not by sophisticated technology, but by chunks of metal moving at near-light speed. The kinetic energy alone had vaporized everything in a 3-kilometer radius of each impact point. "The Elders warned us," came a trembling voice from the back of the council chamber. Junior tactician Krelva, barely past his molting cycle, dared to speak what everyone was thinking. "They said humanity was not to be engaged, that their pattern of warfare was incompatible with galactic norms. The Elders are 5,000 cycles removed from active combat," Vexthor snapped. "Their caution is the paranoia of senility. Humanity controls 17 star systems. We control 3,000. The mathematics of conquest are simple." But Orla was no longer listening. She had begun accessing the restricted archives, the ones marked with elder warnings that stretched back millennia. What she found made her secondary hearts skip their rhythm. Humanity had been observed for 6,000 cycles. First contact protocols had been drafted and redrafted 97 times. Each time the conclusion was the same: observe only. Never engage. She discovered why. Humans, the reports indicated, did not wage war like other species. The Zenthari fought for territory and resources, following strict honor codes that limited civilian casualties and prohibited weapons of mass extinction. Most galactic civilizations operated similarly. Warfare was an extension of diplomacy, carefully calibrated to achieve political objectives while preserving the possibility of future cooperation. Humanity had no such limitations. Orla found records of a human conflict called the World War II. In 6 cycles, humans had killed over 70 million of their own species. They had developed and deployed weapons that split atoms, irradiated entire cities, and deliberately targeted civilian populations. They had invented strategic bombing, total war, mutually assured destruction. And that was before they reached space. "Commander?" Orla interrupted the War Council, her voice trembling across the neural network. "I am accessing Elder Archive 774. I recommend immediate cessation of hostilities." "On what grounds?" "On the grounds that humanity has never lost a war of extinction, and we have just made this personal." 3 cycles later, Harry Chen stood in the command center of Mars Defense Station Olympus, watching the tactical display with cold satisfaction. The Zenthari fleet was regrouping at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, trying to establish defensive positions. They still didn't understand. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the enemy flagship," his communications officer reported. "They're requesting negotiations." Harry's jaw tightened. He thought of the colony on Kepler 442b. 500,000 civilians vaporized in the opening salvo of this war. The Zenthari had targeted the agricultural domes specifically. A demonstration of resolve, their initial broadcast had called it. They had made it personal. "Patch them through," Harry said quietly. The holographic display shimmered, and an alien face appeared. Insectoid, with compound eyes that reflected light in disturbing patterns. The translator rendered her speech in flat, mechanical English. "I am Scientific Officer Orla of the Zenthari Collective. I speak with Commander Vexthor's authorization. We miscalculated. We wish to discuss terms of withdrawal." "You killed 500,000 civilians," Harry said, his voice devoid of emotion. "You wanted to demonstrate your resolve. Let me demonstrate ours." He nodded to his weapons officer. "Execute Hammer Protocol." Orla's image flickered with what might have been panic. "Wait. You must understand. By our cultural standards, that was a legitimate military target. Your colony produced food for military personnel. We did not realize that we'd consider it an act of genocide, that we'd respond with everything we have." Harry leaned forward. "Did your elders not warn you about human warfare, Officer Orla?" "They did," she whispered. "We did not listen." On the tactical display, 1,000 points of light began moving from concealed positions throughout the solar system. Not ships, too small for that. Harry had learned from humanity's own bloody history. Why fight fair when you could fight smart? Each light was a tungsten rod, accelerated over months to appreciable fractions of light speed. Each one aimed not at ships, but at Zenthari supply depots, command stations, and shipyards in their home systems. The Zenthari had brought 3,000 ships to conquer humanity's 17 systems. Harry had just sent 3,000 kinetic kill vehicles to 30 Zenthari worlds. No shields could stop them. No point defense could track them. And traveling at relativistic speeds, they would arrive at their targets in weeks, not months. "You have that long to evacuate," Harry said. "We've programmed them to target military infrastructure only. But if you come back, if you ever threaten a human world again, the next salvo targets your civilians. All of them." Orla's bioluminescence had faded to near darkness. "The elders were right. You do not fight like others." "No," Harry agreed. "We fight to win. We fight like humans." The transmission ended. Within an hour, the Zenthari fleet had activated their FTL drives and vanished from human space. In the Elder archives, on a dozen worlds across the galaxy, automated systems updated their files on humanity. The conclusion remained unchanged. Never provoke the humans. They are uniquely dangerous, not because they are strong, but because they will burn their own worlds to ash before they surrender, and they will take you with them. Someone had ignored that warning. No one would make that mistake again. End.